What's up, everybody? Welcome to One Last Try Versus. And we have a match today between Griebs and Bino. They're going up against each other in Monster Train, the daily challenge. Griebs, Bino, how are you guys feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic. This is something that I've been looking forward to for a long time. We've talked about it. We planned it. The day has finally arrived. I have been hitting the gym, getting ready for this, bulking up and cut to hit my weight class, and I'm ready. I'm ready to do this.
I have also been monster training, and I'm ready for this. And I think you're going to make some orphans of your kids, Bino. Sorry.
Wow, the trash talk starting early. I love it.
Trash talk.
So what are the rules today? We're going to be doing the daily challenge. Both of you will be running the exact same challenge, obviously, because we're doing this on the same day. I'll be able to see both of your screens. I'll be commenting as much as I can, just so people know. I also haven't really played this game too much, so I'm probably going to be asking a lot of questions of the two of them. So that'll be a nice distraction for them, and whoever answers the most questions, maybe they'll get a bonus point. We'll see. I don't know. But hopefully this is a series that we can keep going, and everyone out there likes it. We can keep track of who's winning, who's losing, and keep this going and just keep a running tally. I think it'll be pretty fun.
Nice. So let me just pop in and describe what is comprising this daily challenge today. So the primary clan that we're going to be playing with is Melting Remnant. As somebody who probably hasn't unlocked Melting Remnant in their version of the game yet, Cook, Melting Remnant focuses on dying and rebirth. Their class looks like candles. They're made of wax, and when they have a mechanic called burnout, where they last for a set amount of turns and then they burn out and die. And you have spells in your deck that bring characters back. And when they come back, they often come back stronger and last longer than their first iterations. So if you can get some cards going through their burnout mechanic, coming back stronger, they're a really powerful class if you get the right combination of cards and abilities. Their allied clan is Stygian Guard, and what they specialize in is spells and spell mechanics. One of my favorite cards in that class is one that gives you +8 spell power, and there's a lot of mechanics that they've got, specifically Frostbite, which is a stacking damage mechanic similar to a poison. You build up a stack of poison or a Frostbite. It does damage based on how big the stack is, and then the stack gets reduced by 1 for the next turn. The mutators in today's challenge are going to be highly reactive, where triggered abilities on friendly units trigger an additional time. That can be really handy. It makes for a fun gameplay loop when you can become super powerful. One track mind. This one's a bit tricky because normally in the game you're presented with 2 paths. You can choose the left path or the right path, and they both have different options, and you make your choice based on what's more useful to you in your specific run. The last time I did a one track mind challenge, it screwed me over because I kept not getting the thing that I needed to help make my deck better. And then finally, we have the heavy mutator, which adds 5 dead weights to your starting deck. Dead weights are just basically useless cards that take up a slot in your draw, so that you're less likely to get the cards that you need in your hand. And I can't remember if they can be purged or not, but they're definitely something that hinders you. So we've got one. You can see that highly reactive is green, and the other 2 are pink. And that's an indicator that we've got 1 beneficial mutator and then 2 that make the run more challenging.
Beauty. And just so I completely understand, basically each daily challenge, those mutators are going to be changing, and your clans, those are the only differences each day?
That's correct. So, yes, the daily challenge is essentially a complete dice roll of all of the different options that you could get for these different variables.
Cool.
Now, the one difference with the daily challenge is that when you play a normal game, a lot of the components are randomized, whereas with the daily challenge, although it is randomized potentially, it's the same across the board. So if he makes a decision and I make a decision, the impacts will sort of differ but the same way each time. So, for example, if we both choose the same card, we're both going to be presented with the same choices of cards. Whether we actually choose those cards, the same one is different, but that's going to have an impact on how the game progresses as a result.
And
that's right. So when we beat the first round, we're going to be presented with two options or two drafts for picking cards, with 3 cards each. So even though we're going to be running the same run in the same path and the same bosses, we have the opportunity to pick different cards and build our decks differently based on our decision making.
Perfect. And then so both of you, the enemies and the map is going to be the exact same as well.
Yeah. Now, what I'm interested to know is that will this one track mind take Griebs to the left and me to the right on some scenarios, or are we all going to go the same direction? That's something I'm looking forward to finding out.
Cool. And then we have the ranks.
Sorry, go ahead.
We have the ranks there on the leaderboards. Where are you guys expecting to place first?
Based on my experience, when I am able to successfully complete a challenge, I'm usually in the top 100 or 200. So if I can get in that, I'm going to be happy. I can see right now that there have been 1,720 people who have completed this challenge. So if I could get up into that 100 or 200, I'm going to be pretty happy.
And can one of you please remind me, or actually tell me for the first time, what comprises your score? How is that calculated?
So I'll take that one. So score is based on the damage that you take, the pyre at the top, along with the amount of gold that you have at the end of the run. And then in each fight, your pyre damage, along with how long the boss lasted, whether he made it up to the top of the pyre or not, or if you defeat the boss early, you get a huge bonus. Like if some of the bosses sort of stick around, you can hit them during the run. That's a big bonus there. And then also at the beginning of each of the circles, there's a trial that happens, and if you accept that trial successfully, then you're going to get a big bonus boost there. But it also increases the difficulty, so that's where we have to make a decision on: are we going for the score, or are we going for longevity and trying to make it to the end?
Yep.
Got it. Cool. I think I'm all ready.
We've gotten all that out of the way, and let's hit that start button.
Now, if you are enjoying our content, don't feel free to not forget to like and subscribe down below. We do enjoy getting that feedback that you're enjoying our content. It gives us the motivation to continue to produce content and videos for you. And we hope you do too.
If you've got any suggestions for some other fun games that would do great for this versus format, we'd love to hear them.
All right. Starting the run. And after each stage, we'll just make sure we're in sync and kind of discuss a little bit what happens during the match.
That's right.
How it goes. All right, so Griebs, you just chose some. Oh no, those are just automatic things.
Those are just telling you what your opening cards are. Yep. And this is where we're making our first choice on artifact.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to choose the guild marker simply because you purchase stuff at the end of every round. So having more gold and cheaper items means you can buy more of them, which means you're ultimately going to be a little stronger.
And also, especially since it's right at the beginning, so we're going to have potentially 8 circles or 8 rounds where we get that benefit.
All right, here's another choice.
So which level of champion do we want? Extinguish. He applies +5/+5 and burnout 2 to his friendly units on the same level, or spikes. And then if you kill things, you get extra. So this is nice because you gain stuff permanently. You gain +2 damage and spikes 2 permanently. But it's tough for someone with a health of 1 to get spikes.
Yeah, and especially to the slay mechanic. This person has to be the one to make the killing blow for the slay mechanic to take effect. So I think in this scenario, Firelight is going to be a little better. But by adding burnout to your friendly units,
you could be burning out units that don't normally have burnout.
Yeah, and also too, one of the things that makes burnout good is the fact that when they die, they get reborn stronger. And by adding burnout, you're delaying their death, which means you're delaying their strength increase. So I'm going to go with the spikes.
Interesting
I was
choice.
towards that as well, just because of that. I don't want to make our matches exactly the same, but so far they are going to be.
All right, let's start this first battle. All right, so Griebs, you want to explain the trial for this one?
So the trial basically says that, so normally on the very first round, or for the first wave, the enemies only appear on the very bottom level. This challenge has enemies starting on all 3 levels, and the reward for that would be 75 coins, which makes a big difference. You might take some damage as a result of having guys start at the very top level, but also the pyre should take care of those guys pretty quickly. I'm going for the trial.
Yep, me as well.
Better. Bino's doing it.
Go big or home.
Usually when they say that, it's these guys that have 5 attack with 1 health that sort of appear on those levels.
All right, so I seem to have gotten the same cards that Griebs got on this starting hand. So
well, it makes sense, right? I think that's the randomization that's not randomized for the challenges, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and apply some Frostbite, but I'm not going to play my champion.
Simply, you're going to lose them right away.
Yeah, she would die right away.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna play her because I'm gonna try to reform her. Let's see what happens with that.
Oh, interesting
strategy.
Now, I don't. Yes, very.
That's fine. We'll see what happens. I usually do things very not strategically, very impulsively.
You know, are you strategic or are you impulsive?
So you'll notice on the second hand, there's a reform card. So as a result of me having done that, I will be getting.
You can reform it, giving her burnout.
Stronger. And then that would kill her again, but that would also make her stronger the next time. So I'm gonna keep going with that.
So, Cook, you can see on my hand here, I've got a bunch of dead weights, which are unpurgeable, by the way. So that means there are opportunities later in the round where you can get rid of cards from your deck that you don't want, and these you can't get rid of.
Yikes, that's a burden.
Yeah, it is. So I can tell you right now, I'm not starting off the best. Griebs made the right move by playing his champion to reform her later. I'm going to have to make the same error here. I'm going to restore, give her burnout 1 so that when she comes back, she'll have burnout 2 and can last a little longer. There we go. So you can see here, Cook, this little fire symbol or candle symbol means that my character will burn out and disappear before she's actually killed in the round. This X means my character is going to die, and this boss will wind up with 28 health at the end of this battle, meaning that I won't be able to kill him, but he will be killed by my pyre at the end of the battle.
All right, so this is not the greatest on my end here. Oh, you already over.
Right. Bino's done.
Oh, he got
51 health.
Pyre, eh?
He did get to my pyre, so my pyre has 51 health remaining.
He made it up to the first level on mine, but hopefully I can reform someone strong enough. That's 60 damage I could do right off the bat, but then I got nothing else. That's tempting because I might reform the wrong guy. Like I might reform one of these train stewards, and I don't know if I want that.
No, you're not going to get anywhere near 60 damage out of one of those guys.
I'll take that. And this guy's got low health, but I'll give him a little bit of extra for the next round. And then that should give him
10 damage in, leaving him with 7 health left.
But now I can reform someone. Oh, I can just wipe him out right here.
There you go.
Nice.
Boom.
Good job, Griebs.
So Griebs is definitely going to score higher on this one. So I have a total of 1,005 points, seeing my ranking on the left.
But
Griebs
round one, this makes a very little
25.
difference. It's only a 200-point difference, which is very minimal. So,
Yep.
anything can happen.
You guys are going for the top slot too.
That's right.
51k plus.
All right, Griebs, which one did you pick?
I chose the first one where I can reform a unit of my choice.
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
going for full.
I went with the
reform.
tomb.
Hold on a second. How come? So, Bino, your energy siphon is gold. Why is that?
Oh, good question. So when you complete the game in normal mode, you unlock what's called Revenant mode. Is that correct, Griebs?
That sounds
Covenant rank.
Covenant ranking.
Covenant
Yes. I remember it was a Halo. It was a Halo name.
Yes, in Slay the Spire, when you complete the game, you can do Ascension levels.
Yeah.
Covenant ranks are the same as Ascension levels in Slay the Spire. And when you complete a round, win a round in Covenant mode, the cards that were in your deck when you won the game turn gold. So a golden card means that I've won a Covenant round with them.
Got it. Okay. So there's no like actual tangible difference between those two cards. Just for looks.
That is correct.
It's all cosmetic.
Just for looks.
So I went left, by the way, on the next. On the choice map.
Same as
Left. Yep.
Great.
Incant. So I'm going to be doing a lot of spells. So the Siren of the Sea has Incant, and what Incant does is it's a mechanic that does what it shows whenever someone casts a spell on that floor where this character is. So every time I cast a spell on the same floor that this Siren of the Sea is, she's going to get stronger and healthier.
I'm going with Cold Kalia because she adds Frostbite to 3 to the attacked unit, and because she's sweeping, she's actually hitting all the units. So she's gonna be hitting all the units with Frostbite 3, and if I can get her doing a couple hits on guys, they're really gonna feel it. So
Beauty. I like this divergence now.
Yes. So now I've got the Rune Stone, which upgrades a unit so that when the Incant mechanic gains them 2 armor. So because I've got Siren of the Sea, who
That's
already
nice.
uses Incant, it's going to make her even more powerful or more long lasting.
And I'm doing a big, massive upgrade on Cold Kalia, where she's now going to do 16 damage instead of 1 damage, and she's going to have a lot more health. Now she does take up 3 slots, but that's okay. And I don't think I'm going to upgrade anyone with Burnout, because that doesn't really help me right now.
Yeah, totally.
I will re-roll though and see what comes up on the re-roll. So this is nice. A unit with I can't. Yeah, you already did it. So upgrading a unit with Quick means that she's going to attack before anyone else does. So she's sweeping and attacking people before they have a chance to attack me.
That sounds huge.
So that is pretty big for me.
It is huge, yeah. I also used my extra money to purge a couple of these Train Stewards from my deck. They're a very basic card that doesn't provide a lot of the benefits that the actual
Did you see if those dead weights were purgeable?
They are not purgeable.
Okay.
Stupid
So
dead weights.
the more chaff that you can get rid of in your deck, the more powerful it's going to be. So this trial adds spikes 3 to all of the enemies that spawn into the game. So spikes do return damage on hit. So if you've got a character that hits, they are going to take 3 damage every time they hit an enemy.
I hate spikes.
I hate
I'm
spikes.
turning it on because my new lady has 55 health, so she can take those spikes with ease. So
There we go.
we'll put her right at the front, and her
And
quick
she's gonna
means
sweep.
that she will. Yep.
Sweep quick.
Now she is going to take 12 damage. That's from the spikes, but that's nothing much she can do about that. So I will end my turn.
Damn spikes.
So there's no point in doing anything here except just going on the round. I lose that guy, which is too bad.
So you can see, Cook, every time that I cast a spell, this lady gets stronger and stronger.
Ooh.
And it's happening twice. Because if you remember, one of our mechanics is highly reactive, where those triggered abilities capture twice.
Wow. That's huge. That's huger.
That's huge.
Huge, yeah. Oh, we're already in the final wave. Okay, well, we're going to make it through the final wave, so that's good. We'll just throw some... Frostbite doesn't even matter because it's going to hit the first character. He's going to die right away. So there's really nothing happening here. Just end turn.
Yep. And I'm going to play as many spells as I can just to boost this lady up as strong as she can. And armor too. She's gaining armor. So armor is basically just a shield that it needs to be whittled down before the health starts to lessen.
That card's gonna be a beast.
Yep.
Or a monster, if you will.
It really is.
As a reminder, she will lose all those benefits on the beginning of the next wave. Next round, sorry, not wave.
That is correct. Yeah.
So Greenling's finished with 2,700 in the score. And 2,700 for Bino too.
2,700. So we're neck and neck.
Good job, boys. I guess because neither of you took any hits to your pyre. That seems like why. Very similar.
I took the draft. What'd you do over there?
I also took the draft. I really like him because he burns out quickly to start and then comes back stronger and stronger. And multi-strike is super powerful. All right, so we both went left again.
So after 2 rounds, Griebs is still slightly ahead.
I don't know who to choose here. I'm going to choose the Paraffin Enforcer. And I'm going to upgrade my draft to have extra damage. He takes up 2 slots, but now he's doing 25 damage twice, which...
I chose that exact same upgrade for that character.
Are you watching my screen?
No stream sniping, guys.
I'm joking.
No stream sniping. Keep this fight clean.
I'm going to get rid of one of my train stewards for 50 coin. Alright, so what are you doing in the cavern? Oh, take this and hide this from me.
Yeah. Have you gotten this guy before?
Can't recall. It will be compensated generously later on. Yeah, I'll do it.
I've done it before. It is worth it. So basically, you get some cards to carry in your deck for the short term that you need to spend energy to use in the game, and if you don't use them, it will do damage to your pyre. But you get benefits later on when you meet this guy later in the run. He'll give you something in return for having held those cards for him, and it is highly worth it.
So does not every stage have one of those challenge things, those extra trials?
Yeah, the 6th and the 8th do not. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this is the mini bosses.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So they kind of already have a trial effect on them. So all of our friendly units will enter with SAP 1, which decreases our attack by 2 per stack. So those eventually wear off. And then when we hit somebody, or when that mini boss attacks us, they apply dazed to our character, which means they essentially miss a turn because they are they're essentially taking a little bit of damage. Whoops, we're gonna apply burnout 3 to this guy, make her stronger.
All right, I'm gonna sacrifice my champion as I did previously and hope to bring her back. And I gambled. And I'm not bringing her back.
Uh-oh.
But that's okay.
I guess when you start getting more cards, it's harder to get that card you want.
That's exactly right.
That's right. So now one of the cards that Griebs picked as his reward is one that costs a little more to reform, but you get to pick which card gets reformed rather than it being random.
That's good.
So I've now moved my main base of operations to the middle level because of stuff going on down here, so that's all right. And I'm throwing some train stewards on the top just as a fallback option. Now I could reform my champion with this card here, but because it's a consume, I would lose that card, and it also reforms 2 units, but I only have 1 available, so I'm going to hold off. I think I'm standing strong without my champion right now.
Okay. Some strong attacks there. Bino seems to be holding strong on his side. Some pretty powerful dudes down there.
Yeah, 45 or 46 attack and 56 health with 36 armor. She's untouchable.
Yes.
We're going to apply 3 damage and 8 frostbite to the boss. That's going to add up to some nice little bits of damage. You can see my champion just burned out there, allowing me to reform her again later.
Hit the final wave.
All right, so we're going to reform. I do have the ability. So these yellow dots represent the occupancy of this floor capacity. So I have a floor capacity of 5 units, and I currently only am using 4 of them. So I have room to bring this little fade back in. You can see that this is going to kill this boss.
That was huge. There's some satisfying attacks.
They are very. Now, the downside is that my champion hasn't actually hit a slaying strike yet. So she hasn't used that mechanic, I don't think, and isn't any more powerful than she was when I started the game. Oh, I see Griebs is letting some enemies up into his pyre room there.
The haste is bringing them up there undesirably, so I'm working around that. So I have a reform that's going to be random, which I'm not happy about, but we'll take.
Well, at least it's draft. That's a good one.
It's got burnout 2.
So Bino, you finished that round at 3,900 score.
All right. Well. I don't think I can have 3,900 points, but that's all right.
Oh, there you go. Boss is gonna die here.
Yeah. So let's just finish it off. Oh, I should have played that.
Lessons were learned.
Impulsiveness.
Right. Good job.
All right. So see, I took minus 22% damage because I took 11 damage into my pyre. So that's where I lost my my score difference. And I guess you beat your boss on the bottom level, Bino?
Yep. So now I'm 800 points on Griebs.
Bonus. Yeah.
I think I'm going to choose the Icy Silophyte. Here's something that we haven't encountered yet, Cook. So we've got 3 enhancements here. These basically make us stronger in one of 3 different ways. This one gives us +1 pyre energy, or ember, which allows us to play more cards because this is what we spend to play a card. This one allows us to draw 1 additional card, and this one gives us 1 floor capacity addition per floor. I typically like to start by giving myself more floor capacity. More floor capacity means more characters on the floor, which means that's the best way to give yourself a boost.
Bino, have you ever done the draw an extra card one? I've never used that one.
I have used it when I've been doing daily challenges that are very spell focused. Those ones where my cards get purged when they die. Those ones are great to have in that scenario when I want as many things in my hand as possible. All right. Do I want to purge one of my other spends? Or other cards? I think what I'm going to do is not purge any of these other cards. They are all useful to me in some way. I just purged my last train steward. So double stack. We are definitely going to double our frostbite. Increase magic power. I love doing so. One of the benefits to this Crypt Builder card, Cook, is that it is attuned. And what attuned means is that it multiplies the effects of a magic power boost. So you can see here, this one is unmodified and it deals 60 damage. And then when I put a magic power plus 10, it increases that by 50.
Oh, okay.
So that gives that card a major boost.
Excellent. I think you both chose to do that with that card?
That is correct. And then I'm going to continue down my little Icarus path here, where I now have spikes 25. So when they get hit, they give 25 damage. And that's just going to go up as they get stronger.
What do you know?
I'm going to switch to Firelight. So I'm already gaining. So the way that these champion upgrades work is that they're cumulative. You will always have the ability to continue down the path that you previously selected, and those bonuses will stay on your card. And then when you're presented with the second option, you keep your original bonuses and then can apply a new set to it. And I've found that in most scenarios, I like adding as many benefits as possible. So if I were to stick with Little Icarus and go to level 2, I continue on with just a stronger version of what I already have. But when I choose Firelight, I keep that original boost, but then I also add the ability to get the boost that was presented us as a second option when we first started. So but I don't want to give Burnout 2 to something that I don't want to have Burnout. So I'm going to eat all of those words I just said and stick with the exact same thing that I commented on. So
I just copy Griebs.
There we go. And I have to pick another character. We're going to do this one that gives a sweep and frostbite.
All right, we have a new trial.
So this trial says that non-boss enemy units restore all their health when they move up a floor. This is a real pain, especially when frostbite is a big part of your game, because the whole point of frostbite is as they move up, they're taking damage cumulatively, and then by the time they get to the top, hopefully they're dead. Whereas this, they're completely healing every floor, so that frostbite is almost negated. The reward is a random artifact, which is huge. But as a result, it may mean that guys are getting higher or even into your pyre doing damage that they wouldn't otherwise. Knowing that this is a head-to-head challenge, I have to play it. Otherwise, if it was just myself on a daily, I would not have selected this one because I
can see the sweat on your brow from here.
Yes, it's profound.
What I like to do in these scenarios, without giving away too much of my strategery here, I'm just going to wait till Griebs plays his cards before I explain what I like to do.
One question here too. How come Griebs, Dante's... Oh, you don't have the same cards in your hand right now.
Oh, so different decks now.
Our decks are different and they are drawing different. Now you always get your champion first hand.
Right.
what I like to do on these ones is set up my strength on the top floor, because anybody who lands on the top floor is going to have full health in this specific challenge. And so when I have my strength up there, it gives me the best chance at completing the challenge with taking as little damage as possible.
That's because of the trial, essentially.
Correct. Yes.
And I guess they don't do any damage to your pyre until they get to the top anyway, so...
That's correct, yes.
You don't really take damages. They heal a lot. They go up too.
Yeah, they restore their whole health pool.
It's their whole...
That was big because I had already knocked my guy down to 1 health, but he's back up big time.
Damn.
So that's unfortunate.
I like the floor strategy and how that adds like this different layer of strategy.
Yes.
To really have to think about that too. Thank you. I can use multiple words multiple times.
All right, we're going to apply Frostbite 12 to the front enemy unit. Oh, and it discarded the only card that I could have used and left the other two behind. So I am going to take some pyre damage here as that guy's going to get through.
Man, that healing's brutal.
Yeah, it definitely makes things tricky.
Yeah, like if you look at my screen, I got this guy down 94 health, but he's 95, so I have nothing I can do to get 1 more health down on him, which really stinks. So, it is what it is.
So, would it be normal to basically die at this point in a daily challenge, or is this still too early?
It is a definite possibility. I have had runs where the cards I picked have been so bad and my luck on the draw so poor that I've gone out as early as the second round. I don't think I've ever died on the first round, but I've definitely died on the second round, and it is never fun.
Okay.
So I just had a big bonus up here. I've got my draft here who does 80 damage.
Ooh.
He just came back from being reformed. And so if I can just get him to last a little bit longer than Burnout 2, he's gonna always take care of guys in that top level for me. So here's hoping that we can do that.
I keep thinking you guys are saying giraffe and not draft.
Oh, yeah. Draft.
Oh, we're already in final wave, eh? And I don't have any... I don't know.
Is there any
I'm going to...
cards or any way to heal your pyre during a round, like while you're fighting?
Yeah, there is. There are certain cards that you can get later on that give you the ability to spend your ember to restore health. And there's some cards that, or some enhancements that you can get, or artifacts that give you the ability that when your pyre kills somebody, it restores 5 of its own health.
Oh, that sounds like a...
Yeah.
I don't know if you played the daily challenge the other day, Bino, but there was the dog bone that you come across on the train when you know the caverns one, and I picked up 2 dog bones, and because I was able to duplicate it, so every single turn I was getting 10 pyre health back. It was really quite cool.
Oh, cool!
Wow.
I've never seen that one.
That could be helpful right about now.
This is awful right now though. So instead of moving my cold Kalia on the middle floor, I'm going to put her behind this guy because she needs some protection. And
So how much damage did you take to your Spire there, Bino?
I'll tell you in a sec here. When you play a spell, yeah, we're going to take that.
So I guess there's that trade-off. Not doing the trial would make it a bit easier and you would score because you didn't take as much damage to your Pyre, right? in theory.
Yeah, shit, it keeps blocking my view.
It's plus 50%. Although, yeah, I said balances out for the damage, so it's kind of like a net 0, I feel like, here. For you, Griebs, at least.
The minus 50, yeah, no, I took a lot of damage on the pyre, which is unfortunate. But that's alright. When you play a spell, spells in hand that cost less are reduced to 0 for the turn. I mean, Mr. Spell, that's really good for you. But for me, we'll see. Tune.
Mr. Spell, we have a new nickname for Bino.
Yeah.
So I like the 2 of these cards, the Ice and Pyre and the Ice Storm. I like the Ice Storm. It only says deal 1 damage to a random unit 5 times. If you can get a plus 10 damage on that or a plus 20 damage on that, then all of a sudden it's doing 20 damage 5 times. So it's doing 100 damage, and it's spreading it across a bunch of people.
Yep.
And then the Ice and Pyre is nice because it's attuned, which Bino was talking about before, where the magic power is multiplied by 5. So if you can get a couple plus damages on those ones as well, then you can start doing up to 190 damage. But it has to be on the 3rd level.
Pyre bound means that you have to use it on the floor directly beneath the pyre, so it's useless early in the match unless you've got a big baddie up the top. So now we get to reap the benefits of hanging on to those Dante's Lights cards. We now get to add an artifact that gives us +2 magic power for every blight card in our deck, and those dead weights are blight cards. So we get plus 10 magic power, which is a major benefit.
Huge.
And we gain this card, Dante the Deceptive. He's now a playable character in our deck that gives us a stack of multi-strike for each blight card. So now Dante is going to hit for 3 times 5, and we can improve him if we get one of those merchants that gives us the ability to buff our characters. So again, a major benefit.
I just got a Dante achievement, so that tells me I have never played him before. So
there you go.
Did you also get rid of that card that he gave you?
I believe those cards that he gave us go away, yes.
Okay.
Let me just check.
Yes.
Candle are still in there. So I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dead weights. So now I have 80. What was it? 2 times 8, so 16 magic damage bonus.
Good for spell people.
Yep.
Mr. Spell will love it.
Yeah.
Mr. Spell. I put a spell on you. All right, so we're gonna remove Consume from Sacred Wicks. Consume is a mechanic that means you can only use one card or that card once per combat. So you use it and you can't use it again until you're fighting the next boss down the road. And it's good because it gives your guys some benefit to becoming your spells stronger, but you can only use it once per round, and it's a little bit of a hindrance, especially if you've got a really powerful card. If you can make it so that you can use it multiple times, it really helps things along.
Dude, 190 damage, dang.
Yeah,
that sounds like a lot.
And you can see my Ice Storm card.
Yeah, that's right. My +10 on my Ice Storm card.
My Ice Storm card now does 27 damage to a random enemy 5 times.
Nice.
So if there's only one guy on the screen, you're doing 100 and something damage. Yeah. 35 damage.
27 times 5. Whatever that is.
That is 100 and...
That's already.
100 and...
I know.
35.
Okay, I still don't know what spell to make cost 1 less. Maybe I'll just not do that.
Do the Crypt Builders.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sportsmanship.
Plus on them later, but okay, let's do it. What's this trial?
This trial gives everybody spikes 4. So just like the first trial we chose, this one's just a little more intense version of that same thing.
Awesome. Love spikes. So these guys are really annoying. They have an ability where when they die, they give all the friendly units on their row +2 attack. So when there's 4 of them on the screen, and they give +2 every time when they die, if you kill the first 4 guys, the last guy is going to have +8 damage. So this is where the sweep is quite nice to just hopefully take care of them all in one sweep, as they say.
You know what happened?
I made a mistake and misplayed my character. I wanted to put him on the 3rd floor so that he could kill that collector, which gives me extra gold. And I accidentally put him on the 2nd row, which is not what I wanted to do.
Is a collector like those little treasure goblins in Diablo where they'll run away?
Yes, that's right. If you don't kill them in the round that they appear, they disappear and you lose out on the opportunity to cash in. All right, so now we get to see. Actually, let me bring this girl back. We're gonna put her in front so that she can take some of that damage. Now I'm gonna pop Ice Storm here. So Ice Storm is the one that deals 27 damage to an enemy 5 times. We've got lots of guys here that could get killed from this. So let's pop that and see what happens. Didn't kill anybody because I hit the 2 tankiest guys, but that at least gives me the ability to wipe everybody out here. And we incanted a spell, which made our siren stronger.
Gonna get wrecked.
Now here's something interesting. So every time before the final wave, you have what's called a brief respite, which allows you to play some cards and clear out any enemies that may be remaining before the final fight happens. Now, I've got nobody left on the field, so there's nobody to actually use these cards on, but what I like to do anyway, especially when I've got a character that has incant, is I'm just going to use these spells anyway, even though they're not doing anything, and then that way I can trigger their abilities and make them as strong as possible before the fight.
Should we upgrade you to Doctor Spell with that strategy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right, so we're going to get rid of these candles.
2 crypt builders here. Now we have an artifact that says when you play a spell, other spells in your hand that cost less reduced to 0. So I know I can actually play this crypt builder, both of them, even though I only have 3 ember, but they cost 3 and 2. So if I play this 3 one first, these are now 0. So now I can just hit this guy for free.
Nice.
This guy's gonna go away, and I'm gonna reform to get
2 back.
these guys. The problem is this guy's burning at once. I'm not gonna play. They both are burning at once. I'm not gonna play them, so it might be not helpful right now.
This boss has a mechanic called stealth, so they can do damage but they can't be targeted until their stealth wears away. And in this case, it's going to be 8 turns.
Oh.
So in those 8 turns, all 3 of my guys are going to be killed, and I'm going to be able to kill both of the other targets on this floor. But this boss is going to move up completely untouched, which it seems to be that when I encounter this one is when I usually die in a fight.
Is there any spell or counter to that? That seems OP.
They can be targeted with direct damage spells. They just can't be hit by characters in targets. So you can see here, she still has 2 stealth, and she's going to kill my 2 guys. My champion is going to burn out here, but let's give her some more. So now they're going to take 31 damage. Let's flash freeze, apply some frost damage, and then we'll reform our units, except we can't put this one here because we don't have enough capacity, but I will put him up here. And it's at this stage in the game too when the boss starts to have a lot of health. There's 479 health here. But Dante is gonna get 8. Okay, we might be okay here. So this is gonna deal 190 damage. This is going to stack some frostbite, so we'll be able to play, if we do Crypt Builder to deal 190 damage. Okay, I think we can make something work here. We're going to...
You're looking better than me. I'm looking, I'm in a pretty tight spot here.
We're going to play this.
And you guys are both on the top floor.
Crypt Builder. Oh, there we go. But we're going to discard at random. What's the best way to do this? We're gonna do our big one first. There we go. All right.
Yeah. See, her stealth still gets me. She's making her way to the top.
I got lucky on my discard.
Uh-oh.
There it is. Griebs out.
Griebs taps out.
That's stealth. That stealth is just killer. I hate it.
The stealth.
I really do.
Yep.
So I was going for a strategy where I would bring people back using the reform cards, and it didn't work for me because I'd have the right card and I would reform them, but they'd by default have a burnout of 1, so they wouldn't last the length I needed them to. So
yeah, especially if the floor that you want to put them on is already at capacity, so then you got to put them up a floor, and they burn out before anybody gets up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So when you play your,
I'm enjoying watching you now.
All cards gain +1 magic power for the rest of the battle. So playing a lot of spells, this is going to stack and prove to be pretty beneficial. Do I want any of these? Crushing Demise will automatically kill a non-boss enemy unit, but it also kills one of mine.
I like that when you don't have someone on your side of the floor, though.
Yes. Yeah, that's good as a last resort. Like, oh shit, someone got to my 3rd floor, but I haven't put anyone up there yet. That's a good one. So maybe I'll take that one.
I like that one if you can get a permafrost on it or something, so you always hold on to it until you need it. So permafrost lets you not discard the card at the end of the hand. Instead, you hold on to it until you play it. And
yeah,
it's nice to have.
Yeah, I don't really love any of these. There's a good chance that Cuddle Hex is going to freeze one of the blights in my hand, which means I'm now hanging on to useless cards, which will affect how many cards I can draw in the future. So I don't want to pick that one up. Sap isn't really doing a lot for me. Most of my characters are dying pretty quickly anyway, and I'm reforming them. So giving our enemies less attack doesn't make a huge difference, especially for something that costs 3. And then applying silence to enemy units. Again, this one gets consumed when you use it, so you can only apply it to 1 floor of characters in a round. Not going to be that. It's going to be more beneficial for me to not have any of these cards in my deck, so I'm going to skip this one.
Good call.
All right, and we're off to the Merchant of Magic to increase our spell power.
There's that permafrost on. You could put it on that card you just got, which holds on to it until you need it. Or you could do it for like the Crypt Builder, or You don't have any pyre-bound cards, but that's another place to put permafrost on.
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do here is let's save that money. I'm gonna put magic power on my ice storm. 37 damage to an enemy 5 times, and then let's make my crypt builder less expensive. That way I don't have any spells that are more than 2 is my most expensive spell. And then we will re-roll, and let's make one of these other ones free. Let's make the reforming a random unit free. Reforming 2 random units free. I think that'll be good. And I'm not going to give anything.
You take the consume off that one? Is that why it doesn't have consume on it? That reform?
Yes, that's correct.
Nice.
Let's see what we get at the concealed caverns. This one's neat. Basically, you get to take an artifact from a collapsing train car, based on some of the other classes. Now we have already got Stygian stuff, so I'm just going to pick that. So now we get to pick up apply spell weakness 2 to enemy units. I don't really love this card, specifically because spell weakness 2 doesn't make that big of a deal. Not a lot of my.
If you're playing a deck where spell weakness starts to add up, you can really do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Like I've done I think over 4,000 damage once with a lot of spell weaknesses, but you have to have the right deck for it.
You have to have the right deck for it. I think
and this is a consume, just a one-time shot. I don't think it's worth it personally. But
yeah,
I lost, so don't listen to me.
Yeah, we're gonna skip it. Sometimes if you take it, it'll allow you to pick more things. This case, it crumbles underneath our weight, but I have instances where I've been able to pick up artifacts from all 3.
Oh wow, I never had that.
Probably needed to cut a little bit more, Bino.
I don't think I need to cut anything.
That was a joke from the beginning because you cut weight.
Oh yes, cut weight. That's right. All right, let's move on to the next. So this is another one where we don't get to add a trial because it's already a little more difficult than your standard fight.
So he summons, whenever he appears on the floor, he summons this shard. Crystal. Dark shard.
Dark shard.
Where it will automatically apply dazed if you put someone there on that turn. So if he were to put someone on the 3rd floor right now, they'd be dazed, which means they cannot attack and they can't defend. They just sit there and take it.
Yep. And so also too,
where he puts them.
This is blinding dark shard. You'll notice on the next turn it plays the other dark shard, which will do things when I play a spell. So you have to pay attention to which one it is that you've got. So, but let's start with this guy here, and we are going to put him in front. That's going to allow this guy, my little fade, to collect a slaying hit and give us the ability to get her stronger. There we go. So she's gotten stronger.
So now stronger just for this battle?
No, she's permanent.
Oh, permanent strength.
As the champion, one of her specials is that she gains those +2 spikes and +2 attack permanently.
Yep. So you can see now she does 41 attack and has 37 spikes. So the way that damage works, by the way, so both of these guys are going to hit the front line guy, and they don't start hitting the guys behind the front line guy until the front line guy dies. So both of these guys are going to hit. So you can see he loses 2 health as I point with my finger on my screen, like you guys can see what I'm actually pointing at. He's going to take 2 damage, but this guy's going to kill this guy, and then my girl is going to get even stronger because she's going to kill this second guy. And then let's bring Dante the Deceptive into the 2nd floor. Dante is going to be able to deal direct damage to the boss because there's nothing in front of that to block it. And then let's also put her up here as well. And then we're just gonna crank out some spells. This one's gonna do absolutely nothing other than trigger the incants. And we're able to discard this one, which does damage. We've avoided that.
So Dante's only doing 3 damage per hit, but I mean 9 hits means he's doing 27 damage.
Yep.
Plus, if you had a bunch of low health characters, he would finish them all off. And then if you were able to apply rage to him or something, then he would do a lot more damage per hit 9 times again. So
absolutely,
it's very beneficial what's going on up there.
Yep. So I'm going to play my Crypt Builder, which is going to deal 140 damage to the front unit, which is going to wipe this guy out. It's going to allow this guy to kill unit number 2, which allows this girl to kill unit number 3. There is no downside because this isn't the one that gives us a trigger on incant. So let's go through and do that. And now we are going to play. Let's play this Icy Silophyte up on the 2nd level. If anybody does get past me here, they're gonna face 3 pretty strong characters up here. And we don't want to give anybody Burnout 3 because none of our characters already have Burnout, so we would be doing a detriment to our existing characters.
Now, if you have something that has Burnout 3 and there are only 2 waves left, then sometimes you can get away with it. But what you have to remember is that if you're fighting the boss, because it recurs until the boss dies, Burnout will actually continue to trigger each time the boss attacks. So that's not always a safe bet.
Yep. So this is the Shattering Dark Shard. So you can see here that when one of our units dies on this floor, we get a Weight of Contrition card added to our draw pile, which is a card that if we don't play it will do damage to our pyre. So that's what the Shattering Dark Shard does. Now luckily nobody's going to die, so we don't need to worry about that.
It doesn't count as a blight card, does it?
I don't know. That's a good question. That's a very good question. We're going to play this guy in front. And again, we don't want Burnout.
I think you're in pretty good shape.
We'll see. This guy still has 1,500 health, and we'll see.
It's very easy to get confident.
Yeah. All right.
Something happens, or you pull the wrong card, you pull the wrong draw, and things turn around. So,
yeah,
I'm hopeful. I'm cheering you on, Bino, even though we are competitors in this match.
I've already won, so you might as well cheer. All right, so I'm going to play my Urchin Spines on this floor, which gives a spell weakness of 2 to this guy. So let's do that.
So what that means is that the next time they take spell damage, it will be 5 times the damage, but it's only a one-shot deal. As soon as they take that damage, their spell weakness, I think, goes away completely. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And it doesn't count to things like Frostbite, but this card will deal 19 damage, so they're going to take 19 times 5. There we go. And spell weakness.
Now, did you want to save
gone.
that not until you had like your 140 damager? That would have been.
I could have. Yeah, that may have been a more wise move. But
at the same
I'm going to go
point,
down here,
you
reform
a
unit,
card and not necessarily get it. So that's a chance to take.
There's always that risk. That is correct. We're going to put this Burnout guy here, and then we're going to go back up here and run our Frostbite 12 to give. So now he's got 24. So he'll take 24 damage, and then that goes down every time, like poison in Slay the Spire. All right. So I'm gonna get rid of this guy. This is the Weight of Contrition. Nobody's gonna die here. Let's reform our units. We'll bring... Oh...
Why not put him there?
Well, because he's gonna die. And that's gonna put that Weight of Contrition.
Oh, the Weight of Contrition, that's true.
Which, one of them isn't that bad. I think I'll be okay with that.
Otherwise,
I'm also gonna do...
Yeah, you're right.
gonna crank up a useless spell just to make her stronger. We're gonna play our giraffe on the top floor, even though he's gonna burn out. And then we're gonna put Frostbite on nobody because all these guys are gonna die anyway. There's no point in putting Frostbite on him. And if I play it here, she's gonna get stronger when I play this card. So we'll do that. There's that Weight of Contrition card that got added when my tomb died. So there's that Weight of Contrition. So we've got to play that. Otherwise, we take 3 damage. There's our Ice Storm. So this is going to be fantastic. When I play this, that's 39 damage to this boss 5 times, which is fantastic. And it's going to make the incant trigger on our character. That did a fair bit of damage.
5 times, sweet.
And we're going to draw and then discard. Oh, I didn't notice. Did that Weight of Contrition card say Blight on the bottom of it?
I didn't look. Should have looked.
Final wave. So here we are into the actual boss battle. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play the cards that I'm guaranteed to play first.
There's a spell weakness of 2. So that's good to note because this card right here is going to triple damage as a result.
Yeah, so it's going to go down to 567 when I play it, that's half of its health. That's very huge. And then we're going to play this one, which deals damage and applies Frostbite. And then I'm going to do this one, which applies Frostbite. And we got lucky again, and we get to... So this one discards a card at random, and luckily it didn't discard the card that we wanted to hang on to. So at the end of this guy's going to have 244 health left.
With still 52 Frostbite sitting on him.
Yep.
Making this look easy, Bino.
This is coming along nicely. So now they're going to die.
When you're not sitting in the chair.
I'm going to play these Dante's Candles so that I don't take damage just by hitting the end button. And let's just go ahead and watch this play through.
So our situation, as I was mentioning to Bino the other day, that you see that you're going to kill the boss, and you're like, okay, well, let me just play some cards for the sake of playing cards. And you play really cards, and because of what you do, it actually does not kill the boss because those spells either strengthened him or something. So it's always important to be careful. Don't play cards just for the sake of playing cards sometimes.
Yep, that's right. I am going to take Ice Empire on this one because now that I've got so much magic damage, this attuned is going to crank up even more. 170 damage for 1 Ember cost is going to be magnificent.
Normally it does 90 damage. It's doing 170 because of the magic's plus.
Yep. And then I think what I'm going to do here is... Have I had many scenarios where I haven't been able to play the cards that I want because I didn't have enough Ember? I don't think so. And I haven't had a scenario where I don't get to play the people that I want because I don't have enough space. So I'm going to take the draw on this one. The more of my spells I can get into my hand, the more likely I've got the ability to play the card that I want. And I finally get a Merchant of Steel, which is the one that makes our characters more powerful. So I am going to use this opportunity to buff our Dante. So now instead of doing 3 damage 9 times, he does 13 damage 9 times.
That's huge.
Which is very huge. I'm not going to bother giving him multi-strike.
Nope, that's a waste.
Yeah, when he's already got it. So let's go ahead and re-roll, try and get another... Well, if I give him quick, that's going to be pretty decent as well.
That's really awesome. That means he's going to attack before
quick.
they attack.
Yeah. I would have loved to have been able to have given him more attack damage, but that's just not in the cards. And then we're going to give our Bounty Stalker a little more health. Is there anybody that we've got that has burnout already that we want to give more burnout to? No. There isn't. So let's not use that. Even though there's no point in saving money because there's nothing to spend it on after this, we are approaching the final fight Oh, no, so that's not true. We still have one more fight.
More.
Yeah, so there is.
You have to get the trinkets, right? The trinket treasure. Sales guy.
I usually have bad luck with these guys and have to make an offering 2 or 3 or 4 times. But what the hell? We're in this for entertainment. I might as well see what happens. All right, we're gonna make another offering for 25 coins. There we go, and more magic power.
Not bad at all.
Huge.
There we go.
So these daily challenges do have an end? Does it just keep going?
Oh no, there is a specific end. So you can see here, we're about to do this fight.
Yep.
And then we'll go to either left or right here, and then this Seraph the Patient is the final fight. We have now, we've got 2 more guys to kill before we've completed the run.
Okay.
So you have to get through 8 waves, or not 8 waves, 8 waves. Battles.
Yep. All right, there's no point in making him endless because we've got the ability to bring her back with the burnout cards. So I'm just gonna keep going with little Icarus. She's just gonna keep getting stronger and stronger. And let's fight. So just like round 2, this gives us the ability to have guys at every level, which is not that big a deal. Really, it's only a problem at the start of the fight. It's one of the best ones to have, and it gives us 400 coins, which is quite a nice boost at the end. It lets you finish off any cards that you haven't really finished upgrading. So let's get started. We're gonna get this guy up in front to take some of our damage. We're gonna put Dante up in here.
Because of this, are you then making the 3rd level your your base, or your?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Dante is gonna kill everybody right off the bat. That was a waste of a character. I got greedy. Dante is gonna kill everybody here. This guy's gonna take some damage, so let's see if there's a way that we can keep him alive. If I put her down at the bottom, these 2 girls down at the bottom, they're going to apply. So that's 18 damage. So it's going to take.
Survive though. They're not gonna.
Yeah. This one's going to survive. Let's do 155 damage. We'll take that one right out. And we're going to
taking damage yet, so.
Oh, this wasn't the one with the incant on it. That wasn't our siren.
No.
So she's applied frostbite to everybody. Bounty Stalker we're gonna put down low. He comes in with 1 thing of stealth, so he can't get killed this round. Gonna reform 2 of our units. There's our siren with incant. And now we'll apply 22 damage and frostbite, make her stronger. We'll reform a unit. Bring this guy in here with this girl behind her. They're both gonna burn out, but we can bring them back later. And then we're gonna apply frostbite.
And then when he does bring them back later, they'll have 2 burnouts instead of 1 burnout. So even though they die, it's good to get rid of them and make them stronger next time.
All right, we'll bring our draft in, get rid of this Dante's candle. That used up all of our energy, so we can't do anything else. Frostbite's gonna finish this guy off. This guy's gonna die from Dante.
Yeah, Dante's a really strong one to have up there.
I like how this is looking, Bino.
I don't want to get too.
You can
ahead
let me.
Of myself here.
You can let me get ahead of you. So.
Yeah. All right. So this guy's gonna die again. Dante's gonna kill him. We're not gonna worry about him right now. We're gonna place our entombed explosive. So when this guy dies, he deals 50 damage to the front unit. That allows us to wipe this guy out. And let's just bring back a couple of people. bringing back that. Oh, we can't put either of them here because we don't have the capacity. So let's go ahead.
But now they burn out 2, which is nice. So they can survive to the next wave.
And we can put them both here, which is going to give us quite a bit of power.
Dante's a real hero.
He's pretty awesome.
All right, almost to the final wave.
Almost to the final wave.
Final countdown.
Oh, so I've got the ability here to add 3 levels of burnout to one of these guys. And I think what I'm going to do here is add burnout to this girl because she's going to benefit from that in multiple ways. She gains the strength, she gains the armor, and when he comes back, he's going to come back stronger, which is going to be beneficial to us. And then let's just keep cranking her up here. So we're gonna.
So when she comes back, does she lose like all those buffs that she gets from all these incants?
Good.
Yeah, she does not have them now.
Oh, wow.
She will lose them.
Okay.
She comes back as if she was a fresh card with the additional reform power.
Yep. We're gonna give her more burnout again, so now she's got a burnout of 6.
So you notice that he's not taking any damage right now. Unless Bino does something, he's not going to take any hits.
And the reason for that is because this guy has trample. So he's going to hit for 25 on this guy, which is going to kill him, and there'll be 15 damage left over, which passes on through to this girl. So his one hit's going to take out both of my characters. I'm going to use this opportunity
to... So you can reform someone to get some blocking in there.
Or I can hit for 215.
Oh, look, wait. That spell costs 2, which means all your other ones will be free.
Oh, good thinking. Forgot about that. So yes, brilliant.
So now you can do all that on your own.
We're gonna hit that, and now I have +1 magic power.
And then he can take a whole bunch of hits. We'll reform the other one first to see who it brings back.
We'll put her up here.
So now at least you're doing 143 damage plus what you've done with that. Whatever it was called. So now he's taking 131 damage, so he'll go down to 496 plus whatever he does here.
Well, this is a good one to have.
It went down an extra 100 as a result, because that's actually doing extinguish twice.
Yep.
So now he's going to go down to 297.
And then Dante's going to finish him off on the 3rd floor.
24.
Oh, no.
No,
right,
he's not.
So now I need to
deal some damage.
Let's bring someone back. We're going to bring back
only
the bounty stalker.
Not quite enough yet.
We're gonna
but those flash freezes should help. That should do it.
Flash freeze, there we go.
But that's tight, man.
That's toit like a toiga.
Good job, Bino. I knew you had it.
Whew.
What are you up to now?
One more battle.
30K?
One more battle, 30K. So the leaderboard top scores were 52,000.
Yeah.
If you want to do top 100, you need to get 44 plus.
Oh, interesting. No, I don't really need any of these. We're gonna skip them. And this gives Frostbite 6 to everybody.
I don't think so.
No, none of these are really doing it for me.
You're coming to a trinket merchant, so better to get some extra money and spend it on that.
Yes, totally. So now we got lots of money. We'll restore our health. See what the trinket merchant has to offer first. So incant abilities trigger an additional time. That is massive. Definitely going to take that.
Double the 2 already.
Yeah, now it'll do it 4 times. When you play the third card of your turn, draw 1.
No.
That doesn't really help a lot. And then gaining Ember doesn't really help a lot. Let's see what else they've got. Grant 3 stacks of burnout each time it's applied. So those cards that I have that give +3 burnout, they'll now give +9 burnout, which is pretty nice. When a friendly unit dies, apply +10 to it. That's going to be pretty big.
Especially if you get Dante to die pretty quick.
Yep. Then we're going to give everybody a little extra health. And then before I spend all of my money giving that, let's go and see what kind of spells we can upgrade here.
That one artifact about 3 burnout, you think that would apply for reformed characters as well? So all of a sudden your reformed characters would be burnout 4 instead of burnout 1?
Good question. I don't know if that's an inherent mechanic or if that's an applied mechanic.
That'd be pretty big.
That's, yeah, very interesting to know.
And we are going into the final battle, so there's no point in keeping the money, right?
There's no point in keeping the money. It's just to figure
points. Money gives you points, right?
Money does give me points.
Oh, it's how much you have at the end, not how much you earn during the run?
After each battle, how much money you have. Or, yeah, maybe it is just at the end.
It's at the end of the run. End of the run.
Okay.
I got 35 bonus coins if you look at my screen, because I had 35 coins at the end.
There you go. Okay. So it's 1 point per, so 150 points isn't going to be that big of a difference. I'd rather have a guaranteed win. So I can double stack and give 1 more. I can apply double stack to this burnout, which is already being done through that trinket that I've got. This frostbite hasn't really been super useful.
The urchin spines could be nice if you could pair it with one of your crypt builders, because that would give you spell weakness 4 instead of 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll give it spell weakness 4, and then I'm gonna make it cost less to go back down to 0. And then we're not gonna give anything consume. I'll just keep that extra money.
60 extra points. 65 extra points.
Could re-roll and still do 2 of the cheaper spells.
Let's do it. Make something free. Let's make Ice Empire free. If I'm playing that, it's because I'm in a tight spot and I'll want it to cost as little as possible.
Do it.
All right, here we go. Final battle. So every time, so this Seraph is going to attack every single turn. Normally they only attack at the end. He attacks every single turn. He applies melee weakness to my front unit, and he will gain attack every time I play a character on his floor or cast a spell on his floor. So there's some strategy that we'll need to be careful where we play our cards to avoid triggering things. So
right off the bat, if you put someone on the main,
he's gonna get stronger. Yeah. So let's start putting stuff on the second floor. These guys are gonna come up free of charge, but they'll die when they run into my guys up here. Ooh. We could give him 4 spell damage. No, we're not going to do that right off the bat.
Why not? Because then you can just bide your time and wait till you get that other card.
Oh yeah, I suppose. So he'll gain 1 damage. Yeah, let's do it.
Because no matter what, if you want to apply them, he's going to gain 1 damage anyway, right?
Yep.
Don't listen to me though. I only made it to round 5.
All right, we're going to put Dante down here because he's going to take anybody out. And we're going to put Gold Kalia out there to give everybody Frostbite. None of my guys have Burnout, so we don't need to apply that. And then we don't want to cast our Frostbite card here because then the boss is going to get stronger. So let's just let this play out. Okay, so both of these guys are going to die here. Why are they going to die? Because this guy has so much health, he's going to take all of the damage from Dante. Then she's going to attack and not quite kill him. Then they both attack. There's 18, and then so the Seraph is actually going to kill. Yep.
Your draft looks like a good blocker there.
Put him in
He's not
front.
gonna last more than one anyway.
Yep.
And look, they both survive as a result, and they both kill the other guys.
Yep. We did increase his attack strength by playing a character. He triggered that rally, but is what it is. We don't have anything here that's going to make us strong. Actually, let's do this. Let's play her and save her for later. And we're going to...
One of the challenges I find is I see a character and I feel like I need to put them up there sometimes, but holding on to them is sometimes a better strategy, because then when you need them later after you've lost someone, you can fill in those gaps. So that's definitely one of my weaknesses in this game.
I like putting anybody who applies something, I like putting them at the bottom so that I have a chance to use what they've applied. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of these cards. Deal 40 damage to a random enemy 5 times. Let's play this one down here. I can only play one, so that's 200 damage. There we go.
That's pretty good, random. It's fun watching Dante.
Yeah.
The beast.
The beast from the east. Crushing demise, so that would kill both of our characters. But we don't want to... What do we want to do here? Let's go... So Dante kills this guy, no problem. This guy's gonna die because he's gonna take that 10 damage and then that 24 damage. If I play any cards on this floor, boss is gonna get stronger, and I definitely want to avoid doing that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just play some cards up on the top floor to trigger my incants.
And so, yes, that's a good point in that although some of your cards are not floor specific, if you have that second floor highlighted right now when you play that spell, it will make them stronger. So you have to make sure you do go off of that floor before you play those spells.
Yes.
I've made that mistake before. I've made a lot of mistakes before, as you can tell.
All right, we're going to put our little fade back down here. And...
For the front, she's got 63 spikes with a little bit more health than...
Oh, yeah. Because do spikes count as slay, do you figure? If this guy hits me and takes 63 spike damage, does that count as little fade?
Yeah.
You think so?
Just a killing blow. Technically, it's a killing blow.
Now, Dante is going to kill him anyway because Dante has quick, so he's going to attack first. So I'm going to place... Yeah, let's do it. Let's place her in the front.
One, they're gone. No,
and then we're going to add burnout to her.
Never mind.
So that gave us burnout of 3. So for some reason, that burnout didn't multi-stack like it should have.
You didn't buy it. I don't think you bought it. We talked about it, but you never bought it.
Oh, okay. All right.
You don't need it.
No. All right, so everybody's dying on this one. Let's get rid of Dante's candle so we can think about this. Draft's gonna die here. Let's just go ahead and do everything we can to build up this girl as strong as she can be.
Nothing is certain in this game. Nothing is certain.
Nope.
We're getting to the nitty gritty. He's got a lot of units gone. He's got to reform some to bring them back.
Yep.
But there's a lot of strength out there.
I cast my reforms up here like I normally would to increase her in cans, because then it's going to make the boss stronger. So we're just going to go down here and play our reforms. So now he's hitting for 58. He'll at least take out the front guy. We can deal 24 damage and kill that last guy, which I think I'm going to do right now. And then we're going to reform another character and put him behind. Okay. Well, we're surviving. On to the final wave. So this is for all the marbles. So we're going to purge that card that we don't need.
You have to beat the boss in the final wave, or do you have time until...
So what'll happen here is this bottom floor is going to... Well, actually, this top floor is going to resolve itself. Then this floor is going to resolve itself. Then this floor resolves itself. And then the boss just has free reign, and he keeps attacking over and over and over again till everybody's dead. Then he'll move up a floor, and then when everybody's dead, he'll move up a floor, and then when everyone's dead, he moves up into the pyre room. So I essentially have... He
does have a chance to play cards after he moves up one level. That essentially completes the turn, and then he'll have an opportunity to play more cards onto the second and third levels.
Yeah. So we're gonna go up here, and we're gonna play some of our cards. So we're gonna reform 2 random units, which is beneficial. So our little fade coming in is doing a good job for us. So she has burnout 2 and hits for 105 and is going to get stronger. I'm going to put her here.
So right now you'll see that the boss is taking 88 damage out of 2,279. And he hits for 27.
I believe, Bino.
All right, we're going to give him some more burnout. Oh, and now you'll see here.
Oh, look, yes. He was doing 88 damage before, but now he's doing only -1.
Yep. And the reason for that is because when I played that card, he got more powerful and ended up killing something that wouldn't have died on his first hit normally.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. That does suck. Hopefully I've got the opportunity to make her as strong as possible. This is going to be tricky.
It's going to be very tricky. The daily challenges are not easy. Especially if you're turning on all the options.
Okay, so now at least we've got the opportunity to do some spells here. So if we play him, let's think about this here.
No, oh shoot! Yeah, the pyre bounties to come on one level later. Shoot.
Yeah,
it's bad timing.
Yep. Let's do this. Let's bring the giraffe up here. We're going to apply more burnout to him so that he lasts longer. We get more opportunities to buff her. Do we kiss a floor goodbye at the sake of keeping him weak? Or
there's only 1 extra damage that he's doing as a result. I don't. Oh, what's the health on that guy? He's only gonna take 2 hits and he's gone, but it means he's gonna get in 90 damage.
He's gonna get in 180 damage.
No.
Oh, right. Because the second hit he'll be dead. So 90 damage for kind of a multiplier of yeah. You know what? It's worth it. We're gonna put him in here. He's going to take 89 damage, which is fine.
You can put your entombed explosive there for an extra 100 as well.
Oh, shit. Oh. Yes, you're right. Put him up top. Trying to keep these guys alive.
Because that would have also kept the other guy alive a little longer, too.
Yeah. Well, let's play this because it's not consume. It's getting put in the discard pile anyway. And then we're not going to play this card because I don't want it to accidentally kill one of the things I'm actually concerned about. Mind you, this tomb's going to do 100 damage to him here anyway. So you can see at the end of what we've currently got, he's taking 1144. So he's going down to half health. There's no way that I'm doing 1100 damage.
Now you can play your Crypt Builder for 180 times 5.
Yep.
So we played that on the first round, and it's going to come back and help us out right here.
Yep. So now what's interesting about Crypt Builder, we haven't talked about this, but it's got the offering on it. And what that means is that if this card is accidentally discarded, or not accidentally, if it's discarded, then it plays itself without having to spend the money to get it. So if we can come up with a way, so we've got 3 Ember, I can play all 3 of these cards, and then hopefully when I do my offering, I can discard Crypt Builder, which is going to play it. And that's going to give me, so you know what, it's the best that I can do here. So we're going to, here's what we're going to do. We're going to flash freeze.
Careful, that is going to take away the spells. That takes away the spell weakness.
Oh, right.
You need to play Crypt Builder first.
I do need to play Crypt Builder first. Because if this hits 45 times, 5 times, it's going to eat up all of these spell weaknesses. So what does this do here? So this is going to take him down to 1200 damage.
That with 1144 left. So that you bring him down to 145.
Almost did it right there.
And then to hit him with those, you should be okay. That's tight, but you're gonna do it. Look at that, 44 damage away. Hit him with one more thing and you're done. There you go, that's the one. Yep.
Boom.
Big
job.
Woo.
Yay!
Look at that. A win on our very first versus video. Would have been nice if we both made it here.
Cap with that dub.
That takes a lot of thinking, let me tell you that.
Yeah, I suppose it is a lot more than you are.
Congratulations, Bino.
Just to break 40,000 points, we're going to do a smiley. I don't know what that little emoji does.
I didn't know you could do that. I've never seen that before.
I think they just added that recently.
Huh.
All right, so we're going to have a look at, let's hit our back to challenge. We're going to see where we came on the leaderboards.
Sure, I'm pretty close to you.
371.
Rank 371, so not quite top 200.
1300 out of 1800.
There we go.
That's top 2/3. I'll take it.
Not too shabby.
That's pretty good. That was
Awesome.
entertaining.
Well, I think that was a very good Let's Play One Last Try versus.
Yeah, I look forward to being more careful next time.
Yes. We will be back. I don't know what is our schedule for doing these. Are we going to do one of these a week? Is this like a every Saturday night thing, every Sunday night thing where these videos get released?
I don't know. What do our reviewers think?
There you go. How often should we be doing these in between our normal Let's Play videos? Leave a comment below. Let us know.
Were you entertained by this? Were you entertained?
Awesome. Well, thanks for watching, guys. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad that I was able to come away with the victory. We're going to keep a tally of these wins, by the way, and after we hit, I don't know, maybe 10 wins on something, whoever gets first to 10 has to come up with a challenge for the loser to do, and something fun that we can put on YouTube and share for some entertainment. So if you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing and giving us a thumbs up on the video. As we appreciate it. It helps grow the channel, and we will catch you next time. Let's sign it off for Bino.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Bino.
Congratulations. Definitely.
GG's, everybody.
Awesome. Take care.
Bye.
Later.